Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today I'm going to show you a quick tip that you can use with your tomahawk, hatchet, or hammer that helps you out on the snare line. So some type of hammer is mandatory on the trap and snare line. Primarily I use it to drive stakes. Also, you've seen me drive nails before in videos. I prefer to carry something with a cutting edge. With the cutting edge, it allows me to, cut stakes in the field if I need to. It lets me cut sticks to make fencing around certain trap sets. Now in the past I've carried a carpenter's hatchet. So that's basically a hammerhead on the back of a hatchet. Usually they have some device to pull nails. That works out great on the line. I've switched to a tomahawk lately, but this modification is going to work with either one. Now there's nothing wrong with carrying a larger axe if you chose to. I have used this axe in the past, but I usually reserve this just for crafting. This thing's pretty sharp and it's pretty precious to me. But the trick I'm going to show you today is based off of what I've did to this axe. So on the back of my axe I've got inch markers. I believe that was originally like a Daniel Beard book possibly. Dave Canterbury did a video on it years ago. I put that on my axe and I do use it. It comes in quite handy. So I was thinking how I could adapt this specifically to my snare line. So this is the tomahawk that I've been carrying lately, and I have experimented with inch markers on it just in pencil to try things out. But I found a system that works a lot better for me. So today's actually a perfect condition for this. With fresh snow on the ground, I can't just see tracks, set a loop over the trail and catch any animal that walks by. With snares, you have to set a specific loop size with a specific height off the ground for your intended target animal. And the modifications I did to this helps me with that. So this is the left-hand side, and I've got an L here. That L stands for loop. So starting from the base of the tomahawk, my first hash mark up, I've got PSG, so that's possum, skunk, groundhog. Next mark up is going to be fox and raccoon. Next mark up is bobcat. And my topmost mark is coyote. So let's say, for example, I see coyote tracks. Rather than try to remember, okay, I need a 10-inch loop, I can go from the bottom of my handle, round out my loop best I can, and in its relaxed state, I want it to hit the C of coyote. Now I've got that snare tool that I carry with me, so if this was a unique set, I could train this in the field. Another great example, say I see groundhog, summertime groundhog, I can move my loop down to the G. So I could set for skunk, I could set for possum. Quick and easy, I don't have to remember. If it's possible to screw things up, I would screw things up. So for me, it works best to have it on here. I don't have to remember hand distance or any type of spacing. This is quick and easy. Now on the other side, so I don't confuse myself, I have an H. And that H is the height off the ground. I'll show you that over here on another set. So all these markings are burned in. It's clear, at least to me anyway, about what animal I'm catching, what loop size off the base of the handle, what loop height off the base of the handle, so it's clear and concise. Now the negative aspect to this, if this was an axe or a hatchet that you had, in the summertime if I'm camping, I may not really care, the neck size of a bobcat. That's where having a tomahawk comes in handy. With the tomahawk, I have the added advantage of taking out my trap snare handle that I can only use or only carry when I choose to, and either making or buying a second handle. So now, if I'm just out throwing a tomahawk, camping, carrying, whatever, I don't have hash marks all over this thing and random letters that mean nothing to anyone but me. So this, among other reasons, is why I've chosen to carry a tomahawk. Okay, so all these dimensions, from the loop size to the height off the ground, came from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. They put out a pamphlet for for catch size. You know, if you were, you know, located out west, you might have different size coyotes than I do. You might have different animals that you're trapping. So this allows you to customize a handle to you, to the loop size that you're comfortable with, and the height off the ground that you're comfortable with. Okay, so I've got my support wire in the ground right here. Let's say I see coon tracks, I see coon sign, so I'm going to target raccoon. So I'm going to take my snare out of my snare bag, you know, to set my loop, you know, to around the 8-inch mark, but I don't have to remember that. Now with my snare tool that I don't have with me today, I train the cable a little bit. You know, I can use the corner of my Tomahawk to round that loop out a little bit. Okay, I've got my snare set now on the support wire. Now I'm going to flip it over to the height side, the H, and for a raccoon, you know, I'm going to be about 4 fingers off the ground. Again, I don't have to remember that. So I'm going to go to the surface level. And line that right up with the R. Okay, so here I can check my loop again. You know, I'm right on the R for raccoon. So I'm going to switch over to my H on my height side. I'm going to hold up in the snow because that's going to be the location the animal is going to be walking in. And I am right on the R. So, you know, this lets me make accurate sets that are consistent. And then if I'm losing animals or if I'm missing animals, I can make an adjustment because all my snares are going to be the same height. And again, if this was a different species, say this was a fox, it's going to have the same size loop. I can put that right on the F. You know, adjust my wire. And now I've got a fox set. Okay, so this has been a proven system for me. This works, it speeds up my time on the line, and my snares are more consistent. This definitely works better than my previous method of, you know, using my hands, and then it looks like I'm flashing gang signs out in the middle of the woods. So, you know, give this a try. You know, you can modify it to your area and to your needs. This has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you next time.